Well, here we are yet again on Nez Perce Valley in Way of the Hunter, and when we left off last time, we had spotted a herd of whitetail with 2 4-star mature bucks in it, and the hope is as we hunt along today, we can move into the next day and maybe get to see them age into 5-star bucks. In the meantime, there are a couple of things I want to work on, including the chimichurri bear steak mission. That one is a little bit challenging. You have to harvest 2 black bears with a fitness score of over 50%. That one really slowed down our last stream attempting to do missions, and I thought while we're here, maybe we could get to accomplish that. Now, I'll admit it wasn't really planned, but I actually realized black bear drink twice during the day, once at 7 AM and once at 7 PM, so if we just kind of hunt along for now, we might be able to get a shot at one before we actually go through to the next day, but for now we'll try to take this 1-star adult mule deer buck. Most 1-stars, generally speaking, as adults aren't going to get to 5-star. It does seem like some maybe can, or just maybe they are high genetic potential ones that for whatever reason actually aren't going to get there. Normally I'm looking for 2-star adults as ones that I want to let go, and ideally they get to be 3-star adults before they even get to be mature. But first kill of the day, hopefully, will be a mule deer buck. It looked like he was hit pretty good, and indeed he was. Almost ran straight down to the water actually. But let's see what the genetic potential ends up being for this guy. It doesn't look special as a 1-star adult. Shot through both lungs there at 198 yards, 25.8%. Certainly one that needed to be taken out, so that definitely works. And at the moment, it's just about 5 PM, actually 5:30 PM. Sometimes it takes a while for that to kind of update, but we'll work our way up through here and maybe we can find a bear before that late drink window. But in the meantime, maybe we can get some other things as we wait. Yet again, we have another mule deer that we probably want to go ahead and take out, a 2-star mature, at a spot that probably we should start to frequent a little bit more. And it's actually the location that I shot my first ever bear in the game. And I remember it being like a 1 or 2-star adult. Now, most animals it seems are above that 50% fitness. So I do think that realistically, if we can just find a male black bear, odds are pretty decent it'll be above 50% and complete that mission, but I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should be shooting some of the female black bears, because that's primarily what I run into, and I do wonder if the respawn system or whatever system there is for new animals appearing on your map, it may require both the male and the female to be shot before it triggers new spawns. I've noticed that with red foxes and badgers as well. I mostly have females on my map. Speaking of, we have a 2-star adult there. I wonder what the one behind it was, or where it went. Seems it went in another direction, because I don't see where it went. As for our mule deer though, good vital blood, just gotta figure out what direction it went in. In fact, he is laying about 30 yards from where we shot him, just ran straight into the water here. Lung and liver actually, a little farther back than I thought at 149 yards. He was a 44%, which makes sense as a 2-star mature, so we can sell that. And it is now right about the beginning of the later black bear drink time, and I know they drink here. There are a couple of trails where they come in. I'm not sure though that we want to just sit here and wait. It gets dark pretty quick once you hit about 7. I mean, the sun looks like it's high in the sky, but it does not take long until it really gets tough to see, so we'll probably try to keep moving, keep on looking, and see if we can catch them on their way in or at one of the other locations. But at least we're taking advantage of the time that we have and working on our genetics still for the mule deer. One thing that is for certain as we try at least to turn our focus entirely to black bear here for the last bit of light, this lake we have not taken advantage of enough in terms of the amount of mule deer that utilize it. I think there were at least 3 different herds, and maybe if we can continue to take some of these lesser ones out, we might get to see some bigger ones in their places. We are lucky to find that one. It's just an ear and an antler sticking out, actually above the water surface. But as for this guy, a 37% mature, a lot of really subpar genetics. I mentioned earlier, normally even like 1-star matures you'll see above 50%. Not in everything that we are getting today, but let's go ahead and start hopping around. It is, as I said, going to get dark really quick on us. Well, we can find black bears. That's not been the issue. However, we're not having any luck finding males, and I mentioned earlier about the female bears and maybe trying to shoot them and see what that does. With this little light, I think we should be able to bring that one down. Now, bears are pretty tough, so we're going to want to watch and see where it goes. Although, at least for a moment there, it looked like it was going to go down really quickly. Starting to slow up over there. So hopefully it's not going to be too much tracking here in pretty low light conditions. And not an easy deal trying to track in this low light, but managed to find her. Obviously not going to be any percentage or anything, but we get at least the 150 credits from taking that. And I would say based on the stars in the sky, probably time to reset back to morning. So as with the 7 p.m. drink time, there's also a 7 a.m. time, but that was the time of day that we located the whitetail. So probably what we'll do is rest to probably 6:30 a.m., something like that. Spend some time going around and then try to get eyes on the whitetail before we worry about much else. Well, the problem at the moment appears to be that our whitetail are not in the normal area where we can locate them. Now, the good news is that same herd that feeds on this hillside also drinks right down here in the creek. So I think rather than potentially disturbing them, maybe they could be down below the hill or somewhere where we can't see them and basically risking spooking them off. I think we'll go in and worry about bears, try to get that done, and maybe come back in a couple hours when they might be drinking in the open. Ooh boy. I was wondering where that guy got to. That was the 4-star elk that I figured would one day get... What is happening on this map? There are 2 5-star elk again? I started running over here because these bears are starting to move quickly. That's a big elk too. I don't know what is going on, but one of these bears must be a male. I didn't even see the elk. We have to get down there and check on the whitetail because especially if these elk have aged, the whitetail may have too, and quite frankly, I'm kind of more worried about them. That is the male in the back. If it follows where the female's going, we might be able to get a shot, and then we gotta worry about everything else that's going on, but it's been such a struggle just to find a male bear. I'm actually more worried about this, and naturally, he's making it tough to get a broadside shot. Maybe through there? I don't know, it's not a good angle. At this point, should it even matter? Probably not, but to a degree, we kind of committed to doing this, and it could very well be all that we need. That's going to be him about 340. Maybe we can get that shot as he kind of scoots through there. Gonna be tough, but worth a try, and then we have to start to move on some of these bigger animals. That is not a nice angle, but we could try it. And if we can hit him again, we will. Don't know if that got him, and I really can't tell based on the blood. If he doesn't go down, that's fine. I'm not going to be too worried about that. Should probably, too, try to figure out where the elk went. It would have been down, like, that direction somewhere. At least that's a start, I guess. Well, that can't be a good sign. We have the sound from male black bear and the elk, actually. It might be okay that we spooked them, just because now we know where they are, but I would certainly think probably the bear's not going to go down. That blood would indicate probably that he won't. And quite frankly, as much as I'd prefer to try to get the bear, there's just too much else going on now. So we'll have to come back another day and try to finish him off. The elk are going to, at least for maybe like 1 in-game hour, be our priority. Like I said, we have to go and check on the whitetail. Elk can live for longer in their mature state. Whitetail have a very brief lifespan, so we can't let that herd go unchecked while we know things have aged on the map. I don't even think we need to spot. That is a very different rack, though. Like, that's the 5-star that we spotted first. That lower one that's really, like, low and wider set might be the second, and I'm not 100% sure that this front one isn't a third. We gotta make sure for the other two, but that's easily a 5-star. There's no doubting that. There are huge elk all over this one particular area of Nez Perce Valley, and I really thought after we got a couple from here, maybe that 4-star would make it and that would be it. Evidently we weren't done. I mean, that one there just looks incredible. That is a 5-star. The angle is a little rough, and especially considering what just happened with the bear, probably we won't take a shot at that angle, but if he turns and kind of follows the others, we'll go ahead and try to take him, and it looks like that is what he's going to do. Now, we know that vegetation can kind of block your shot, so we better wait this out and make sure he's going to step out from behind this brush. Naturally, he's kind of cutting back the other way, but that angle is also doable, and I do believe that should have struck him right through the lungs. Now, some of the cows are coming up that way. Not sure if they'll all do that. There's the other 5-star going, I believe. We'll see if we can stay on him and at least spot and see what else is in there. They're actually maybe all going to go across the ridge. That is the 5-star that we've been kind of waiting on, I believe. And then there's that one other kind of decent bull in there. That said, that I thought was the one that we shot. Maybe he's not hit that well. The blood actually is just a small amount and red. I really thought that shot was just fine. I will be interested to find out what happens. I guess there's a male right down there. Let's just make sure, because the amount of 5-stars that we're seeing, who knows what could be going on. There's one just running in place right there. That is, if we could get it to spot and somehow we can't, probably like a 3 or 4. Well, I guess he just warped up the hill. There might be something with stuck animals, but I couldn't actually spot him. Anyway, I marked with a track marker roughly where they went. They may be right by this campsite too, because they kind of went over the hill. That might be the move. We can jump over there and see. We got to make sure we get that guy down. I don't understand where we actually hit him, but there is the group of elk. And which one is the one that we shot? The longer I'm looking here, I think this is a completely separate herd of elk that just happens to be in the same area. Maybe up on top there's where they ended up. I don't understand why they're looking over here right now. All of them are looking right in our direction. The only thing I can maybe think of is if one of their herd is over here closer and we've alerted it, that might tell them where we are, but I actually think our bull is the one that's kind of looking through the back of that other one, and it's in range. I mean, that's that kind of unique, wide, low-set rack, so if he clears out of there, even though our last shot didn't go that well, we may try it from there, because I think if we try to close the distance, they're probably going to spook, but man, just a little bit, and he'd be out in the open. I heard a bugle that may kind of explain why they're alert to begin with. Even if that guy moves, there is a chance just through there to get a lung. That is pink blood. That's going to bring him down, and I at least think that's the right one. There's another 5-star in this herd, there's no doubt about that, but if that's the same one, if we've hit him twice, I'm actually kind of comfortable leaving that other 5-star at least until we go and check on the whitetail. The reason is, I believe it to be the 4-star that we saw that looked huge. It looked bigger than a 5-star on our last hunt up in here, maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. And I'm just assuming it has really, really good genetics and maybe could go even further, another aging cycle into that 5-star range. So we shall see. Depends on what happens with the whitetail. That right there, these 2 elk, I think were responsible. Wait. That's a 4-star. A really big 4-star. I hope we shot the right one. This time the blood looks good. Pink blood with a medium amount of bubbles. Just gotta figure out where he went. I thought he went kind of straight into the trees, but I don't immediately see any blood. There is a tiny bit right in there. So now we have a direction, and as long as we can figure out where he went, and actually the blood started to pick up really good there. Definitely in this light though, and all this red vegetation, the hunter sense is almost a necessity to keep up with him, but he's laying right there, and I think, well, for one, I think we're not going to take a trophy shot because there's not much to take a photo of, but because he went down so fast, maybe that's indication that we shot him twice. We did shoot him twice. We hit him in the liver. And we actually hit the right lung at 292 yards. We just didn't have the bullet energy to make the kill shot. I'm quite frankly shocked by that. I thought the shot placement was okay, and it was, as far as I'm concerned, just didn't quite have the bullet energy. I think it's because of the angle. Had we shot directly broadside and hit that same spot, pretty sure it's got the energy without having to go through the extra flesh to bring him down. But on the second shot, we hit the right lung again. I guess this grayed out part is already damaged. Must be the way that works. And even again, really we hit the lung with too low of energy to do the damage we needed, but 98%, I figured he must have been pretty decent because of that particular rack. The total score was a 494. That is an awesome bull. I can't wait to throw that in the lodge. I actually have an idea here, and real quick before we go too far, I think we'll make sure that they're not just standing in view again, but the elk that we had done in the multi-mount with the cow. A wide set rack like that, it may go around that beam in the lodge and not actually clip through, so we may do that. In the meantime, I don't see the elk. I'd hate to leave them and have to find them again in their drink zone, but it is 11 a.m. I'm so worried about those whitetail aging and dying of old age. I think we're probably going to prioritize them. It does appear as though our whitetail have not aged yet, but at least they're all still here. I only saw one of the 4-star matures though, unless maybe I missed it. That was a 4-star there, and then there's a 3-star. Are they both in here? There is still one back, and that is the other 4-star. So let's actually take a close look while we're here. There may be another one with kind of subpar genetics that we want to go ahead and take out. At least there can be that. And I think we're actually going to do the same thing that we did a couple of weeks ago and probably make this into a 2-part hunt. We got to go back and find that other 5-star elk, and I'm really not even 100% sure that there weren't 2 in there. It looked like there could have been. But we'll take a close look here, try to examine the antlers, see if there's any unevenness or anything that's a tell of one that's not going to get anywhere near 5 stars. And actually, it may be the case that this 3-star mature is a little bit uneven. Normally, that's a pretty good indication of at least somewhat subpar genetics. The brow tines look different. We're going to try to sneak in closer and get a better look, because I don't want to make that mistake in case I'm just seeing it from an angle that makes it look like it's uneven, but it kind of does appear to be a little different. That is a heck of a sight though. I mean, all these huge bucks moving through in one herd. I don't know where they're actually getting to. They might just be kind of scooching over a little bit as they continue in their drink zone. I just can't say for sure. He may be even, and he could just be younger in that mature state, and he may well still end up reaching 4 or 5 stars. So I say we leave him. We do have to go back then to the trophy lodge and place our new elk, and I kind of think we can place it in a spot that will allow it to not clip through in that multi-mount. So we'll try to get that done, and it's going to be interesting heading back up there and looking for the other ones. But the good news is, as we do that in the video that's probably just going to be tomorrow, we'll do it like last time and do them back-to-back days. More time is going to pass, and it's going to give the whitetail more opportunity to maybe age. But basically the plan is, if we take this out of here, put him somewhere else, and then put the new one in, I think that lower, wider set rack should kind of reach around the beam, and hopefully allow it to not clip. To be honest though, I'm just looking at this, I don't think it's going to work. He's just so much bigger than the other one. I still think his main beam is going to go all the way back into the beam in the roof, and this one's not bad. It just barely clips into there, so I don't mind that too much. Rather than spending the extra money, let's find a spot for our new elk, probably on the lower level. This level's kind of overrun with them, and I think of the available options, we're going to go ahead and go with this. It is a pretty nice spot. What a bull though. I don't know for sure that it's our highest scoring. That is just such a neat frame. And that 4-star, I don't know if the frames as younger ones kind of dictate what they may be as they get older, but there is a 4-star up there that looked just like that, but a little bit smaller. That is such a cool looking bull. I'm so glad we got that. I am looking forward to heading back up into the mountains and trying to locate that herd again and looking for the other 5-star and trying to take a close look and see what else may be in there, but that is probably my favorite kill thus far. The first 5-star elk ever obviously was pretty neat, being one of our first 5-stars in general, but I just love the look of that. When you get up here, it's starting to look pretty neat in here. The work that we've been putting in, and especially the stuff before hunting season, really has allowed us to make a lot of progress as we get into October now. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. We'll be right back here tomorrow looking for the rest of the animals that we saw today. And on that note, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.